Ladies and gentlemen, I am yours truly, the legend himself, Labzy, aka the best motherfucker you ever met in the history of your life, and I can prove it too, even though I shouldn't. The most loyal, the most honest, and the most respected. Now, this is another great episode, man, because my next guest he's obviously an artist, he's a rapper, a very talented freestyler. He is the host of the Don't Sweat the Technique at Shop Kickers in Thornbury, which happens every Tuesday. I would highly recommend, really recommend to go to that place because, it's great vibes every time. It's always a great time. You know what I'm saying? And the first time I watched this man was, oh man, it's gonna make me think now. Because I was watching Queen Ree perform, and Tumi was one of the performers as well. And when he was performing, man, he's got that smooth energy about him. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, and the couch, yeah. As you can tell, I'm somewhere a little bit different this time. So.
Real talk with Labzy, we speaking the truth. From the streets to the booth, giving voice to the groove. No holding back, every combo's the proof. It's the realest in the game, now we raising the roof. Real talk with Labzy, Labzy, Labzy. Real talk with Labzy, Labzy, Labzy. Real talk with Labzy, Labzy, Labzy. Real talk with Labzy.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get him in. I'll just send him that invite now. Tumi The Be. And yeah, man, this man is, you know what? I'm obviously confident to say that this man is one of the most respected in the local scene as well because of the Don't Sweat the Technique. He's able to get people on stage and bring the community together and have it the freestyle and having the band in the background as well. So shout out to the band in Don't Sweat the Technique at Shot Kickers. You're all doing a fantastic job. And yeah, so it's and yes, I said to the guy, do you want to be on the show? And he's like, yeah, bro, hell yeah, let's do it, man. And yeah, here we are. I just hope. Hang on, where we at? Hang on, there you are. There's my man. There he is right now. What's happening, my guy?
Second.
What's happening, bro? How you feeling? What's happening, bro? First of all, how's your mental health, man?
My mental health is steady.
That's all right. Cool. Now, bro, thank you for taking the time to jump on here with me and obviously have our conversation, man. And first of all, you weren't born and raised in Melbourne, were you?
No.
No. So where were you born and raised, bro?
So I was born in Botswana.
Yep.
Which is in Southern Africa. I spent some time in South Africa, in Cape Town. I've got family from Johannesburg, family from Bloemfontein, family from Mafikeng, all Southern Africa. Got family from Kenya, Nairobi. I grew up in Botswana in a town called Gaborone.
Okay.
A capital city, but feels more like a big town than a city.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Well, did you come from a line of musicians yourself? Like, was music always a part of you, or did it come to you? Like, speak on that.
So, wow, it's a good question. So funny thing, I first got interested in music, or rather in rap, like in hip hop, in like grade probably 10 back home. It's called Form 3, and just kind of dabbled a bit. And then after uni, I came to Australia and I actually, saw there was more opportunity to like meet people, make more music, work with musicians, producers. You know, like the scene is just bigger here. And I did music for a little while, right? Probably 2 or 3 years. And the first time I went back home, because this was after I'd moved to Australia, first time I went back home, it's 2014, since being in Australia, I found a picture of my uncle with a guitar. So my uncle is a surgeon,
Oh, wow.
and I've never seen him play a guitar. I know he loves music. My whole family like loves music, like Fleetwood Mac, Bob Marley, Janet Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonders. Not really big Ray Charles fans. Charles Mingus, Jonas Gwangwa, famous South African jazz musician. So there was always like my mom had this store she used to like buying CDs from. I'm going a long way to say this, but basically there was always music there, right? And they all listened to different types of music, like my uncles and aunts and my mom. But what I later discovered basically is that like my mom, my uncle, my mom and my 3 uncles used to be in a band, and my granddad used to play, I think like apparently every wind instrument.
Oh, wow.
Not every, but like he played sax, he played clarinet, he played trumpet. Like, yeah, he actually played in a few bands himself when he was younger. So I didn't realize until afterwards, but it turns out that I was just soaked in it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the soundscape of my childhood, but then also they had earlier in their lives, before they'd taken off to pursue their respective careers, like, you know, dabbled.
Oh, wow. So does that mean they never showed you anything musically at all? Because you just said just before, like you didn't know this until after. Like they never shared any music with you, like especially you growing up at all.
You mean like their music?
Yeah.
No, because by the time I was around, so my mom's the youngest of 5. So by the time I was around, all my uncles had like completely, like, I mean, like my uncle saw me playing guitar one day and didn't say a thing, right? And then I later found out, he used to play guitar. Because when I saw the picture of him, I then asked my mom, and she was like, yeah, your uncle used to play guitar before he became a doctor. So he had, his connection to it is like it's almost like it's just a thing that he used to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think they were all very, and also don't forget that this would have been, so my mom was born in 62. So that would mean this would have been like the late 70s. That they would have been doing like in a band or whatever, and they would have been making music. So like access to recording equipment wasn't quite the same. For you to be in a room recording what you made, we didn't have camera phones like we do now. You couldn't go and buy yourself a microphone for $100 and use a laptop. We didn't have fucking laptops. You know, computers were still DOS based. So they never showed me anything because they were never big time musicians that made it to the studios with all the tapes and the producers that know how to cut everything.
Wow. Oh. Okay, so that's how. Okay, so that basically explains that you come from a line of music yourself. Okay, no, that's fantastic. Now, when was the moment you knew rap? Like, did you have to do poetry first? Did you have to kind of watch? Like, did you have to? Was there any artist that you saw that kind of inspired you? Like, speak on that.
Oh, what? Artists that I saw. At a distance, artists that I saw, I think Kendrick Lamar was one. Talib Kweli was one. Talib Kweli. Whoa. Damn. Reflection Eternal, bro. Kweli and High Tech. I was like, Black Star was good, but Kweli and High Tech was full. Who else? I used to listen to like Dr. Dre, like and Exhibit and The Alcoholic and a little bit of Snoop Dogg when I was younger, but like that's stuff that I couldn't really relate with.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was fun when I was a kid, but as I got older. So I think for me, the moment that I kind of, at a distance, that's what I listened to. But in terms of actually seeing something and being like, I think I could do that. When I first got to Melbourne in 2014, because I'd been in Australia since 2010, I had some time where I like dabbled a bit and was in studios just because I like to write rhymes. and I heard a Lil Wayne song, and I like rewrote to the beat. I just loved it, and I went and recorded it at a studio, but I was kind of still dabbling. It's just for funsies. I got to Melbourne 2014, and I went to the Laundry Bar. I went to Laundry Bar and saw this really, really awesome band from New Zealand called At Peace. Members later went on to become the Average Rap Band, and then now Avondale Bowls Club is their thing now, or at least one of the dudes, Tom Scott. But yeah, like seeing those guys at Laundry on a Friday night, fucking just doing the maddest, smooth West Coast-ish, Bone Thugs-ish hybrid tunes, lighting joints and passing around in the audience I was like, yo, I think I could do that. I think I could do that. Still haven't passed the joint around, but it was great.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. I've vaped on stage. So like, I guess, yeah. Yeah.
It's close to it's a start. It's like a starter pack thing.
It's a starter pack.
Yeah. Now, fantastic, man. So would you say? So do you like to experiment with different types of genres, or do you have your own genre that you kind of stick to?
I like to dabble a lot. I think I just like to try to rap or express myself on anything. So that's nice. I just like it. So I don't like, I always lean to boom bap because that's probably that's closer to what I grew up with. Old school and lo-fi stuff, but no, I fucks with everything. Like my demo folder is just full of bad country songs, bad pop songs. It's just nice. It's just for me personally. Yeah. For music I release, I'd say it's like hip hop, rap, trap elements. Yeah. A lot of people.
Do you spend a lot of time in the studio yourself, or do you have to kind of create the routine to spend time in the studio?
No, I don't spend enough time in the studio.
Okay.
I actually don't.
Okay.
Because it's yeah. I feel like I've been around people who spend a lot of time in the studio, and it's like, yeah. I say I don't spend enough time in the studio because when I'm around someone it's like spending a lot of time on stage makes you very comfortable on stage. Generally, you can lean into it. Spending a lot of time in the studio, I think, is kind of the same. I've met people who spend hours in the studio every week, and they're so comfortable in the environment. For me, it still feels like, right, let's get to business, lads. Let's get cracking on something. Whereas I've seen people that can just breeze in, like they don't go, I'm going in for 3 hours to record something. They go like, I'm starting at 9 a.m. I'm walking in, I'm having a coffee. It's like the office. You know what I mean? Like that's some real shit. And that's something that I've never done, which I think makes a different kind of recording artist.
Okay. So you would say that you'd not rely per se, but you would like rather have the moment of energy with other people watching you to perform in order to create good music. Is that how you think of it, like that?
I think it's just where I'm at in terms of what I do that I'm inclined to and consistently inclined to creatively. Besides what I do in public. What I enjoy the most, honestly, my favorite thing about making music is the shit that I record by myself at like 1 a.m. I love that.
Yeah.
That's like, I am in love with that because that is the feeling of starting something. I was talking this with a workmate the other day, and it was like, because he also, my mate Indy, because he also he makes soundtracks for podcasts. And he was saying the feeling of going from having just like nothing to then having, either because you made the beat or you used a beat and you then put your vocals on it. Like the feeling of going from having nothing to making something that's a full 3-minute, 2-minute thing you can listen to is amazing. That feeling alone is amazing. Even if what you make is like poo, but if what you make is then also good and you can enjoy it, it's
different. It's different.
When you go to sleep at like 4 a.m. and you're like, oh, this is fire. And you go to sleep and then you wake up the next day. It's like 9 a.m. You wake up, you listen to it. You're like, oh, you just,
Yeah.
It's such a, like, it's joy. Like, that is, for me, that's joy. That's joy. That's joy. Whenever I do get to do that, that's joy.
Okay. So so say if you have an idea for a song, do you write it down or do you kind of record it straight away before you forget it?
I always write it down. I have to write it down. Sometimes I've freestyled, but I don't freestyle. I don't like to writing. I don't like to freestyle.
Okay.
Freestyling, I like to freestyle, but writing, like performing, I have a tendency to freestyle, but writing, not, because I've only done that a few times. It's better to let it cook a bit.
Yeah, of course. So would you say it's easy? Like, is freestyling easy? Like, if I wanted to become a rapper tomorrow or even today, and I wanted to choose freestyling, is it easy to learn to freestyle, in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not easy in the mechanics of doing it. It's easy in the sense that if you can just enjoy whatever's happening, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not trying to sound like whoever, it's fun. And it's fun because it's easy. Because freestyle, you know why freestyling is easy? Because it's fun.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
The feeling that you get from saying something, even if I've seen people freestyle and they don't think they can freestyle and they rap a bit and they're not self-conscious about it. They're just into it. And then they drop like a sick bar or a really, really, really tight scheme or a nice rhyme. Like, it's great. It makes you want to do it again and again and again.
Oh yeah, of course. Because I obviously go to the Shot Kickers event every Tuesday for Don't Sweat the Technique, which you host, which I do want to get into that a little bit later, by the way. And it's always a great vibe. It's always very fun to see where, you see like a lot of people that come on stage just freestyling, having a good time, it just doesn't have to make sense. You're just in that moment of fun. Do you think that's where, do you think that's what we want in a community, just to have positive vibes, positive energy, just having fun? Is that what you were going for while hosting, Don't Sweat the Technique?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
And 100%. How did that idea come to you?
I can't take all the credit. I'd love to. I wish I could. Yeah. But this conversation is recorded, so if I take all the credit, someone's going to say, "You didn't do it." It's me. I was a mastermind behind the whole thing.
Yeah.
It actually involved a few people. So I did an album in 2022, and the band that I played with was great. We had a great time. Anthony Murray, Shorty, was in that band. Liam Powell was in that band. Matt Robb was in that band. My good mate Nadav Raymond was in that band. And after that, after doing a few things, the owner of Shot Kickers actually approached Shorty. He actually came to Shorty first and sort of said to him, I'm trying to do a hip hop thing. Do you know anything that could be cool? And Shorty talked to me and then talked to the guys at Vibe Union. And we brainstormed and went back and forth about an idea for it. There used to be a night called Can I Kick It? And it was just dope because the name of a song as the event name is kind of cool. It gives it an identity if people know it. So we went with DSTT, Don't Sweat the Technique. It's one of my favorite songs. But came Eric B. And initially it was like this thing where we were like, oh, we'll do like a bunch of my songs and then do a jam. So it would be like a bit of a show as well and blah, blah, blah. But like, it's kind of like we decided not to do that. And I kind of like was more comfortable with not doing that because I was like, I've been to jams before and I think the thing I like the most, and I've seen people do it as well, where they'll do like an hour of their own material. And I'm like, it kind of like, it's a jam. Like people come expecting to get to an open mic, even if it's not open all the fucking time. Yeah. And then we just kind of started playing, committed to like 3 months of Tuesdays, did 3 months of Tuesdays, and just kept going. And that was almost 3 years ago now. It was actually coming up on 3 years ago.
Wow. Wow. It's time does fly. Wow. 3 years. Jesus. And because I know you've had different artists to perform their songs at Shot Kickers as well. Is it kind of, are people very open to be like, yeah, I want to perform my songs on, like, is it kind of difficult to get artists to join in every Tuesday to create the list? Because obviously I know you guys create a list on who's going to be in the next month of Don't Sweat the Technique. Like, is it kind of hard getting guests sometimes? And then you have to kind of like, in case of cancellations or whatever, like, what are some obstacles that you guys face dealing with the artists and the Don't Sweat the Technique with Shot Kickers?
The guest artists, I think the biggest obstacle that we have had to face, cancellations. Cancellations, amazing. No, like, we've never had someone say they were going to come along that didn't show up. Everyone that we've ever asked to come along showed up.
Oh, wow.
So we don't even have just in case. I mean, if someone doesn't show up, we'll just do the regular night and say, sorry, they couldn't make it. But there's not a single person who said that they were going to come through that didn't.
Wow. Well, this is
contrary to the popular belief. Musicians are not, people don't act like rock stars. People actually show up.
Yeah.
They pull up and they do their best. I've not seen anyone that's come through and not done their level best, whether they were like 10 people in the room or 50 or 80, like, everyone comes and fucking brings it. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's where I think that's the greatest thing about Shot Kickers every Tuesday, is because it just feels like, you're in for a good time every single week. You know what I mean? Because again, like, we have open-minded, respectful people, and that are artists as well. And I mean, you don't even have to be an artist. You can be a podcaster like myself. You have comedians as well, such as obviously with Tej and Indy as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's just being around good people, especially on a weekday. It's just, I don't know. It just hits different, and also you will find your tribe, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, bro. And but going back to music for you, like, are you still like working on music yourself, or have you kind of taken a pause from the side? Like, what's happening with you with music now?
I've probably taken like a big pause. I still write. I've not been in the studio in ages. I've not allowed it to become a priority in my life, nor have I made it a priority. It's just got things doing and things going on. So, I am still working on stuff, like, been kicking it at Shorty's house. We kicked it a couple of Thursdays over in the last few weeks, laid down some stuff. We're in the studio with Pascal came around, Chantal Raphael, fucking the homie Trix William came around. I went back and forth with Trix William, made a beat at my house, then went to his house, made another joint. My music, I've got 3 songs that I just like need to decide what to do with.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger with.
Yeah. Is this something that's kind of holding you back on releasing?
Yes. It's November and it's nice to be outside. It's nice to be outside.
Yeah. But yeah, I understand. So I don't know. The one thing I've always been curious about and wanting to know why is, like, I feel like you've got 2 types of artists. The ones that just release just for the sake of releasing, once they make a song or whatever and they just release it, or the ones that kind of hold back a little bit because, I don't know, maybe they think it's because it's not ready or they think it's not perfect. Like, do you think that's what it is with the stuff that you've made? Do you think maybe it's not ready? Maybe it's just not perfected? Like, why do you feel you're holding back to releasing?
I think for me, the perfection is in the art. Oh, so why am I holding back from releasing? Because the question is, am I holding back from releasing? I think that thing of like being like, oh, this is not good enough yet. I've been through that and I've seen people go through that. Where I feel I am with it is it's not what I've created that is not ready. It's sort of it's I guess the best way I can put it is it's the machine, it's the workshop, it's the like having a studio and a good similar vibe and the same producer really helps, because like I said, some people literally walk into the studio at 9 a.m. and it's the office. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's something about having that consistency of a place where where studio feels like home or office. And I think that's for me what it is. I have not got that. I have places I record that are great. Studio Blue 3K is the closest to being like home for recording. Did 2 tracks out there, 2 really good tracks out there this year, actually. Breaking Curses and Backyard Freestyle. Big up to Ben on the production. Like, actually, good tunes. Such a good vibe. Like, I would come back, because they're out in Seaford. I would come back from Seaford just buzzing. And Benny and Como are just like such legends to kick it with as well. But other than that, and also the time I've had in the studio with the homie Bizzo and Hyena, I haven't really felt like I'm in that place where it's like studio is home. Just lock into a routine. So the holding back is actually, I would say my biggest thing is, it's discipline on the routine of every single week. You've got to get your reps in. You know what I mean? You really do have to. Like, I'm not a believer in recording an album in 2 days. I'm not like some people are fucking, they're amazing like that. They can capture the performance. I would love to be able to, on a weekly basis, be somewhere that actually feels the vibe is, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, wouldn't the vibe be that way if someone creates it?
Yes.
I'm sure you know how to create. I mean, you always do create great vibes to me. What you mean, bro? You're the energy, bro.
I'm a vibe lord.
Yeah.
Good vibes only. Bad vibes only. Nah, but it's like, okay, look, how can I put it? You know, like going into studio with like producers sometimes. I've been in a lot of different types of studios, and every place has a feel. Every place has like it feels a certain way to be in there. Like real shit. I've been in like commercial studios where it's like $2,000 a day and we're recording there, but there's the people as well, but also just the energy that the place has, the way the furniture's laid out, the lighting. I think everyone's got a different mood for which they like. I think like true pros can fucking go into a garage and just like rip it up. It's actually another good vibe that I had in a studio type place was my mate Ricky's garage. That was another place. But there's something about how the person who owns it. I think what you, from what you're saying, I would say I haven't built myself a studio. You know what I mean? Okay. Yet. I haven't created that space for myself. I go to the producers. So it's dependent upon their ability to cater the vibe. And some places are great at that, but some places are just not. And if you're not sensitive to that, then great, you can work. But I'm a spacey motherfucker. I want to be able to have nice lights to look at or some shit.
Yeah, of course. Like you want to have be in your own space, be in your own universe in order to cook by yourself, because that way you know when you create it, you're the one who did it, wasn't anyone else. You basically did it with your bare hands, and that to you is that what makes it more special?
There's that, and then there's also the energy that you're sharing with the people in the room. Like my mate Bizzo is probably one of the best producers I've personally worked with, just because he's really good at being able to give you feedback. Like, do this like this, but also really good at being able to that was sick, and our taste is the same. It aligns. He's also a musician himself, so he's very creative. Then, for instance, there's the energy from working with someone like Ben and and also actually working with Como at Studio Blue 3K, Ben is just like, his fingers are just blurring over the keyboard and the mouse. So everything is happening so fast that as fast as your ideas are coming, he's just executing. And he's sort of more laid back on giving you feedback, but he's just like, that kid is a fucking gun. Like it's just click, 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 click. And then he's like, oh, and you're like, all right, give me a channel there with reverb, another channel there with no reverb, another channel there, pan to left. And he's just making things happen so that as your ideas come, just flow. And that's what I mean when I say the vibe, because the mind state that you're already in when you get there, if that's enhanced by the space that you're in, then you just go. And you're right. Like, the person brings the vibe. When you're like a true vibe lord, you can go anywhere and make it like a great place to record, or just even being yourself enough for that. But
yeah,
I'm not that guy. I need it. I'm a diva when it comes to that.
I think, you know what? I think you can be that guy. I think you are that guy.
Yeah,
I think you are.
Come on, peeled grapes, brother. Peeled grapes.
I got you.
You know.
Because I understand what you mean, because I went to, if you know Legend, the rapper, the one that came here from Texas when he was like 8 years old, and he lives in the area. I had the opportunity to go to Burn City Studios with him because he was recording a track, right? And I wanted to go there because I wanted to understand the actual studio session itself on the bouncing off the vibe between the artist and the producer, right?
So did you guys go there as part of the podcast, or did you just go like?
No, I just wanted to go. I just wanted to go there just to sort of just see for myself, just to understand the behind the scenes, just for my education, right? Yeah. And yeah, bro, like I'd just be watching them, like, you know, Legend just be like, yo, man, I'm thinking about this beat, I'm thinking about this in my head, and then the producer's listening, and then all of a sudden it's basically wind him up and watch him go, basically. And because Legend's personality is very loud, like it's got that high vibe frequency, it's like they know how to really bounce off each other very quick. And within we were probably in the studio for a good, maybe like 2 hours, and they already had like the song concept done. You know, they just wanted to get the lyrics on, and then that's it, you know. And it actually got released probably a few days ago, actually. He's in LA right now. He's doing some music stuff in LA right now. He'll be back this week, actually. Yeah, he'll be back this week. And yeah, bro, and yeah, like I think it's very interesting but yeah, as you say, like you don't. It's crazy how people can just basically live in the studio, for like hours and hours, like an office, as you were saying before. Oh man!
And what you would have seen that day with Legend and his producer, you would have seen like that's the dream, that's the that's the energy, like that's the, you know, and obviously not always going to be like that, but that's two people bouncing off each other. I mean, like it's everything from, if I say to my producer, hit me with some might delete later J. Cole drill type shit, right? If someone's never heard that album, they have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You know what I mean? They're like, what are you saying? You know, so when you say to them, I want to cook up something to that, they have no idea because they've not heard that album. And then when you go to them, okay, fine, here are the tracks that I'm talking about. Again, if it's the first time they're hearing it and they're like, oh, this is drill, but it's not as hard as drill. What is this? This is like, it's a weird fusion. It's got a sample on it. And then they have to learn how to master that style of making that. And so then they'll spend 5 hours cooking something that's like decent because they've never heard it. They're not familiar with it. But when you go in there and you're with someone who even on taste, you diverge a bit, but you have enough of that where you can be like, oh, yeah, hit me with that. You know? They're like, okay, cool. Boom. They whip up something. You're like, holy shit. And you can go like the feeling is different. The music itself is different, but the essence of what I'm trying to capture when I say some, you know, give me something that's HYB like, that's a J. Cole song. Give me something that sounds like HYB or has the same feel, but it's just, you know, it's drilly like that, but isn't a hard drill. Some people will nail that just from you saying that. For some people, they're like, "What are you saying, brother?"
Yeah.
ChatGPT can't help you with that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
ChatGPT can help you with a lot, but it can't help you with that. You can fucking put that into ChatGPT. It will tell you what you are looking for, but it cannot put the skills in your brain, brother, to like be able to help you to actually make something that has the feel.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I think it depends on how educated the producer actually is. That's also another thing, because I feel like if you're a producer, you should be familiar with a lot of genres that are happening, especially when it comes to drill, or if you want to do something from the Bay Area, or if you want to do something from Texas, or you know, something like that. You know, you should be able to be like, okay, you know, because obviously music is always changing all the time, and I think maybe one of the challenges that a lot of producers, even DJs as well, is that they have to try to keep up with whatever's like big right now, or the next new thing or whatever, and they have to learn how to do this, and by the time they master that, there's something new that's come out as well. Like I think that's probably what it is, but then maybe it could be, you know, you maybe have to maybe find a producer that understands you and understands what you want in order to create magic. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, it's exactly that. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Yeah. Like it's but it's also for your mood. Like for a song that I wanted to do this year, I wanted a particular type of beat, and there was only one person I knew who had started making that kind of music. So even though he and I don't have the same taste in a lot of stuff, you know, you also have to, you know what I reckon is important? It's important to know what someone likes and for them to know what you like. If you so happen to have enjoyed the same thing, that's great. The difference does create some diversity and some range on how your creativity comes out. But producers, you know, it's best for producers to be educated about who they're working with. Because if they know what you like, then they know what you're trying to do. Because you're always emulating something in some small way, even if it's just an effect or the way you're stacking your vocals or something. So I feel like for the producer to be familiar with that and know what you're doing is great. So like good producers, or rather producers who are like that, like motherfuckers will play you the music that they make. You don't go in and start cooking immediately.
Yeah.
To dry. Sometimes you do, I guess. I'm not that guy. It's always great to hear someone play me their music, because then I know, like, oh, this is what your sensibility is for what you really like making. Producers who make their own music, besides being educated, also great, because then they understand the process. Rapper producers are great because they understand rap itself. So they're not just hearing over their beat. They're actually hearing your words, and they're also able to help you creatively. My mate Biz, for example, who raps and produces, working with him is great because he can actually, and he's very poetic. So he's actually able to put you on and say, nah, do this like this, or try this like this, or, you know, give you a bit of help with that.
Okay. That's interesting. So do you think the types of genre people listen to determines who they are?
The type of genre determines the people listen to determines who they are.
Yeah. Do you think? I don't know. I feel like when you listen to specific music, it kind of tells you who they are, because music, as we know, the ultimate therapy, right? And it speaks on what we're either going through or whatever. And depending on the genre itself, do you think it kind of determines who that person is in a way?
I don't know. Yes-ish. I know it determines how you feel.
Yeah.
Like what I listen to often determines how I'm feeling, even if not on the first song. Yeah.
That thought just came to my mind just now. Actually, just made me think about that.
Okay, so what kind of person listens to death metal? Death metal person. Try to imagine the person. What do they look like? How do they dress? What's their personality like?
Well, but see, that's a hard one, because you can, you know, these people can, you know, dress like us, but then next thing you know, they're almost breaking their necks when they hear the songs. I don't know, but man, it is hard. It is a hard question because I know there's a lot of people are very open-minded to different types of genres because, you know, depending on what mood they're in, they'll just select that, you know. But yeah, it is an interesting one, isn't it?
You know what I think? I think nowadays less than before. Like it made sense for hippies to like Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But these days you can be both a Kendrick Lamar and a Taylor Swift fan. So I think
absolutely
we have so much access. So I think yes-ish. If you find that one person that listens to nothing but harmonic death metal all day, all night, you probably meet and you meet 10 people like that, you probably meet a very specific disposition or at least outlook on life. At the very least, outlook on life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's check this out.
Yeah.
Now I've got a theory for you.
Okay.
This means you can program people with music. All right.
That's right.
This means if you could grow a bunch of human beings in a petri dish and put them on Mars and expose them to a particular kind of music for their entire lives, you could shape the entire way that they think.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Because obviously different ideas would come together and obviously depending on how open-minded these people are as well.
But that's the point.
Because if they're open,
they're clones. I'm not saying clones are not people. Clones are people. 2099, I'm going to get cancelled for that. What? Back in 2024, he said the clones weren't people. But yeah, they're clones. So you teach them everything, but you also give them a particular type of music. It would be interesting. It's a weird experiment. But I think, you know what? If you go to a heavy metal gig, you might get friendly responses. You might get happy people. You might get people having a good time. But you are also going to get at some point people flying across the room in a mosh pit.
Oh, yeah. And it's actually interesting. Go on.
And there's a certain kind of person that's like, I want to be in the mosh pit. I want to fly, brother. I'm scared of that shit. You know what I mean? So there's obviously some aspect of my personality when I'm like, that someone else might be like, fucking, let's go, brother.
Just go balls deep on that mosh pit.
Yeah, just all the way.
But it is interesting you say that because I went to a rock concert, not a rock concert, but it was like a metal gig that I went to, right? And it's a friend of a friend of mine that I work with, and I wanted to be open-minded. I didn't want to be judgmental to any genre, you know. I wanted to really be, because that's how I kind of wanted to be better as a person for myself, right? And I thought to myself, okay, let's go to this metal gig. If I like it, at least I like it. If I don't, at least I can say I was open-minded to actually go there and actually, you know, and say that I've done it, right? And I went to this metal gig, and bro, I've got to say, these people were just so nice. They were so nice. They were just very lovely people. Like, you know, don't let the long beard or the very loud noises or, you know, whatever it is to throw you off, because obviously society has a habit of, you know, demonizing specific things because of something they don't understand, of course. But no, like they're very welcoming, very nice, you know. It's just, and I've even said to a few of them, I said, well, look, this is not really my go-to place because this is not really my genre that I listen to, but I'm being here to be open-minded to, you know, check it out properly, you know, and really just squash all the stereotypical bullshit of what metal is or heavy metal, whatever, that type of genre. And they were so happy to hear that. They were like, bro, man, we just want to say thank you, you know, thank you for being here, you know, giving us a chance and, you know, that type of stuff. And yeah, bro, like, yeah, look, don't get me wrong. Some of the performances were a bit, you know, hey, how you going? But it's them. It's their music. It's their thing. You know, like, I'm not going to disrespect their thing just because I'm, you know, it's not a part of my frequency. You do you at the end of the day. Like, you know, there are people, you know, shaking their hairs all the time, like that, doing that, you know, and they're trying to sing along to the song itself. And it's a different vibe altogether. But to be honest, it's not much different for how, when we go to Shot Kickers every Tuesday, it's not any different. The only difference is just the genre. The energy is the same, but just the genre is different. And then again, it all depends on if you're open-minded, coming together, performing together. It's all a good time at the end of the day. And again, nice people, open-minded people. And I actually learned something, and I was just like, wow, these people are just, creating their craft their way.
Mm.
And it's just like, wow, like now, I mean, look, again, heavy metal and the metal music is not really my thing, but I've grown to respect it and appreciate it because, it's an art form at the end of the day.
Mm.
Exactly how you guys have got the rappers, obviously the singers, anything under the arts umbrella and on the creative umbrella, bro, we're not much different. We're really not.
No, not at all. I mean, not at all. Every scene has its. That's why Australia is so lucky. That's why Melbourne is so lucky. You can go to a rave gig on a Saturday, a hip hop gig on a Sunday, and then go to an Afrobeats DJ set on a Monday. You can really like get a taste for so much different stuff in this place. So like, we're really lucky even to have that opportunity. There's a lot of places where you can't do that. It's not like that. So I think,
which is very strange to me. Which is very strange how there's not many places that have that, have that love for music like Melbourne does. Because I find it really crazy how you've got people that have moved from Sydney to here, like Lewis Grant, who does Discover Hip Hop, right? He moved from Sydney, and he was saying that, bro, I could not believe how much people like love the music here. The music scene is just crazy here. You feel like it's everywhere. Sydney is not that much, but what I find very strange is like there are some celebrities like rappers and stuff like that from Australia that go to America to go big, and they're from Sydney. So it's like it's kind of strange here. Like the math is not mathing here. How is it? Yeah, it's not, because it's like, well, how is it possible that Melbourne as the local scene is popping more than freaking Sydney, but yet they have the opportunity to freaking go overseas to get a record deal or whatever. That's the part that makes no sense. That's the part that math is not mathing.
Yep. It's true. Big love to anyone that's from Sydney that watches.
Yes.
We're not saying Sydney's not amazing, but Sydney's not amazing.
It's
I lived in Sydney for a little bit. It's interesting, right? But you know what? What do you reckon? I mean, what do you reckon that is? Because when you think about it, to have things like Shot Kickers, we have to have venues like Shot Kickers. To have things like the Breaking Bread events like Legends, you have to have Rubik's Warehouse. You have to have, Breaking Bread. You have to have Half Naked, Almost Famous. For stuff like for Amel and the Sniffers, if that's what you're into, you have to have the Northcote Social, So I think we are a city of venues, and live music is actually well supported. Fuck, the funding for live music in Victoria in general is amazing. And by amazing, I just mean like I think there's $8 million allocated this year to funding by a particular body.
Damn.
So I don't know what it was. I don't know what it's like in Sydney, but stuff like, you see, this is why government policy is fucking important, and why we eventually are all going to realize that politics affects every part of our lives, because the people that are right now making decisions on zoning policies, noise restrictions, all of that shit that affects whether or not you can have a bar somewhere or a venue somewhere, whether or not your neighbors can complain and get you shut down and limit your time, your license to 11 p.m. Stuff like that. It's very small stuff in the grand scheme of things, but it has such a big impact. It's shit that, and then just even just generally like the different seasons, commercial seasons, like you got how venues either work together, not work together, are owned by conglomerates. Like you have some venues that are owned by a guy. The guy is there. He's at the top. You have some that are owned by conglomerates where the person who owns it never even fucking comes in, so doesn't even know and doesn't give anyone much leeway to do things. Not pointing fingers. I'm just saying there's so many things that make it so that we can exist in this, that we have no fucking control over. Yeah. None. Besides us making the vibe where we can. But then again, hip hop was born in what? I may be corrected on this, but hip hop was born in abandoned project buildings. So fuck, you know, where there's people and there's loud, there's sounds. There's probably going to be music.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and then just as you said, like the politics is, I've always hated politics in general. I mean, especially when it comes to funding the arts. I mean, I don't understand why we're not doing. There's not enough funding. Like I understand that like they'll do it, but I feel like we have to keep banging on the doors for proper funding for the arts, especially when it comes to music and hip hop as well, because I feel like Australia has the capability, and look, we have the knowledge to create something bigger with it. You know, if you look at the UK, you know, you've got their genre that's happening with drill and stuff like that. Obviously in America as well, you know, they basically live, breathe, taste hip hop. Even if you don't listen to it, you're going to hear it regardless, because hip hop is going to be everywhere. You know, but then you have Australia that's just like, well, you know, we have this capability of doing it. We can build something bigger and something awesome and bring a lot of artists together to create whatever it is they want to create. And this is why we need people like the Don't Sweat the Technique. We need people like Breaking Bread. We need people of the podcast Cartel, that we are going to bring all of us together to build something even greater as well. I mean, because I'll be honest with you, Tumi, if the government's not going to help us, then we're going to have to do it ourselves. Legit. I'm gonna be real. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna do this our way. We have to come together and be like, listen, okay, if the government's not gonna help us, we're gonna figure out how we're gonna do this our way, and then we'll work with that. Yeah, we're gonna have some politics here and there or whatever, but as long as we stick to the script, I reckon we can probably turn Australian hip hop basically into the world. It's gonna be all eyes on us, basically. In my honest opinion, you know.
What do you think? What is Australian hip hop to you?
I mean, what's Australian hip hop to me?
Yeah, because that is true. Like there being something that represents, you know, what to you? What would you describe it as? What is Australian hip hop?
I feel like it's not much different from the hip hop in America. I would say the only difference is obviously the accent, of course, because we have stories, we have struggles, we have a way to create something that would speak to the world. And I think that we just gotta, obviously every Aussie artist has to just find their own unique way of doing it. And yeah, I mean, look, not many people are there's only gonna be a small percentage of people that are gonna fuck with it. And then, because I don't know if it's a population thing, because obviously, you know, in Australia population in general, we're very tiny in comparison to America. Like and even the UK as well. Like we have the same population in Australia, in the state of Florida, in the US. Just as a fun fact for you. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So look at the state of Florida. Yeah, the state of Florida and how big our country is, and we have the same population. Oh, don't tell me we've lost him. Don't tell me we lost him. No. We were going on a really good vibe here due to technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. But just bear with us. Just one moment, please. I hope you're enjoying this conversation, by the way. But going back to what I was saying just while he comes back, is that I think that we really need to to just be different. And I think the Australian hip hop for me, I think, man, it is a hard one. Sorry, bro, what happened?
You were spitting hot fire, bro. My phone literally overheated.
No way.
Yeah, well, my other phone overheated. It's this little flippy thing. It runs really fucking hot.
And you know why? Because this conversation fire. That's what it is.
There's a conversation fire. I heard what you were saying when you were saying not everybody's going to get behind it. And
look, there's going to be people that are not going to be behind it because they're not going to understand it. Because I remember there was a I forgot the guy's name. I know Strictly DT was sharing it. How, you know, they don't look. This guy was a very fan of hip hop, and he was getting like the eye rolling and stuff like that because they don't want that so-called black stuff on. You know, they don't want to, you know, promote that. But it's like, well, it has nothing to do with the race itself. Like the hip hop itself is the genre itself. You know what I mean? And it's another form of expressing how you feel through music, through poetry.
Yeah.
But I think this is why we need to take action now, because as obviously that closed-minded generation will obviously wipe out, and then obviously the open-minded generation will obviously take over. And I think we just got to just keep going what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it is. We just need to try to promote as much people as possible, because there are so many great artists out there, especially Australian artists. There are so many great ones. You know what I mean? Like,
so many, man.
Because what's crazy, before I came into the breaking bread scene and also with Shock Kickers and stuff like that, I did not know at all. Like, I'll be honest, like I can speak on the people that don't really know there's that much talent out there. I can speak on that. Before I met you guys and everyone, breaking bread, or even the Shock Kickers as well, like I had no idea. I just thought, oh yeah, you have to go through either singing competitions as well to get noticed or something, and then, you know, you possibly get a record label to go overseas or whatever, you do tours or whatever, that stuff. That's what I thought in my head. And then like everyone's just working a normal 9-to-5 job everywhere else. To be honest with you. But then going into this, it's like, wow, shit, there's actually people that really do music. They really do albums. They really do singles. They really perform. They really freestyle. You know, they go into open mics and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, it actually opened my eyes and it really blew my mind, to be honest with you. And it's just wow. And I think we really need to help with that exposure with all of it. We need to do our part. Hence why I do my podcast. Lewis Grant, he does his Discover Hip Hop as well. Even Simon with Donkeyman Records has got the podcast Cartel. Like, we're doing our part to really help expose you guys as much as possible, because this needs to be done.
So which is true, because, you know, I do, and big love for having me on as well. I think the second podcast I've ever done in my life, so it's great. It's actually it's great to be able to just have a chat. So what would you say is what's your role, or rather, what would you call yourself? Are you a podcaster?
I would say a podcaster, yeah. I would say a conversationalist as well. You know, because I love to learn about people's story. I wanted to know the mind behind their creativity, on how it's come to them, whether it's generational or they just inspired them. Because you have the two types of creatives: the one that it comes from family, or they just did it on their own. Like the universe just chose them.
Yeah.
And that's where you have a lot of interesting stories and a lot of and especially when you listen to their music as well, it really shows you like, wow. It was like, wow, like you can tell through the story of because I'll give you an example, right? Shout out to my man Big Creature. He's in Arizona, but he bounces from California to Texas, right? And he, through his music, he would talk about, you know, mother being on drugs and being in an abusive relationship and stuff like that, you know, and he can't really speak up. He can't really speak up because he doesn't want to, you know, and then being in an environment of drugs and stuff like that. and you can really feel like he's very reserved, like he's very like he doesn't really trust very easily, right?
Mm.
I can tell that he's learning how to grow out of it per se, but like really just be minded when he really needs to be. Like when because he's done music with legends like Be Legit, Lil Flip, Lil Kiki, who else? Hit a Slim as well from Sick With It Records. And so he's worked with a lot of OGs, and even, like one of my greatest accomplishments, I would say, is that he would say to me, you know, because you've been so respectful, you've been so cool, and I don't even come on social media at all, I'm happy to jump on here and have a conversation with you. You know what I mean? And it shows that at the end of the day, if you show the respect and love, that respect and love will return. And then like learning about his story, and just think, wow, you know, like he really wants to grow, he really wants to be better, and he does that through music, and he doesn't want to give up. And I even message him from time to time, and he would say, you know, what's on his mind, and I say, hey, bro, just take that to God, you know, take that, just pray, just take that concern to God, bro, and then he'll make it better for you, and he always appreciates that. So, you know, to this day, like we still rocking, you know what I mean? And I'm showing love to one of my favorite artists, and they're following me, you know what I'm saying? And it's showing that these are people, and these people have stories, and I've always been love to hear these stories. That's why I do this.
So you're, because it's journalism what you do, and you know, like what people do, creatively is important. What you do creatively is just as important.
I would say, I wouldn't say journalism per se. I mean, I don't really do much research onto people. It's more everything out of my curiosity. Even my interview with you, like I've got nothing prepared in front of me. All it is just my water bottle, my mug.
You know what you need? You need some mushrooms or some DMT.
Really?
You need to get on the road to this Joe Rogan Spotify deal, brother. Because you're interested in talking to people, you want to have chats with people. You just need some LSD in the mix, and it's over. People will do that. Real talk with Labzy.
On
so
LSD.
Real talk. No, it's important. Like, yeah, people that take their time to want to know about what is behind the music that gets made, or what is behind someone's life, is mostly good, you know.
But it's not.
It's part of the whole machine, or the part of the whole game. It's part of the whole thing.
But please understand, it's not just music. I've had gamers, I've had streamers, I've had dojo owners, I've had rap managers. You know, I've had sex workers. Yeah.
Yeah, you've had that guy that owns that gym. I Am Stronger?
Yeah, I Am Stronger. Shout out to Kyle Austin. He was my 50th guest on my show. So that was a big deal, man. And yeah, bro, it was fantastic. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, I think that's it from my side. Did you have any questions? Because I know you needed my wisdom for something. I could be wrong when I say this. Oh, you've had filmmakers. Yes, that's right. Even the Danny Hustle was on myself as well with filmmakers and video. Yeah, that one too. Yes.
Danny Hustle. Ever met Danny?
Yeah, he came to one of the nights. It was his first time, and I was telling them about how shot kickers work and how it brings obviously community together and just good vibes to the Tuesday night. Yeah, man.
Yeah, big love. Actually, I think I do remember meeting Danny.
Yeah.
Big love.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, wisdom. What kind of wisdom? What is the wisdom of you're going to offer me today?
You were talking about forgiveness. You wanted to talk about that?
Yeah, but that was on like Tuesday, bro. That was on Wednesday.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay.
I'm throwing forgiveness out the door, bro. I have officially told myself forgiveness is not an option.
Okay.
Now I'm like, cool. It's fine.
Okay.
It's cool.
You're good? Okay.
No. What I wanted to... No, you did say something, though. What I wanted to understand from you is what that means to you. What does it mean to you to forgive?
It is... I was saying in my video that I did on Wednesday, which I encourage everyone to check out, by the way, is that it is for yourself. It's not for the other person, because you don't want to carry hatred in your heart. You want to keep the love in your heart as much as possible, you know? And if you wish to give, you have to give from your heart with no expectation of if you get it in return. If you get it back, cool. If you don't get it back, cool. It has to be a reflection on you. Like if I want to support you because I choose to support you, right? If you want to support me, that's fine. If you want to share, like my stuff, go ahead. That's on you. I want to support you because I appreciate what you're doing and you love what you're doing. So I'm going to do my part and be like, you know what? I appreciate what this man's doing. I'm going to like that person's stuff. I'm going to comment on that stuff. And whatever happens out of that, happens out of that.
What about where you are? What about where instead of someone supporting you or not supporting you, because you're not entitled to support and their indifference is fine. What about in return for you supporting someone, them taking the piss with you or being shady with you? What about when I think about forgiveness, I really think about betrayal, because I think you can forgive a lot of things. I think we're all human, like we all have those traits of being sometimes selfish, sometimes giving, sometimes hateful, sometimes loving. Like we have those traits. But I think the question I always think about with betrayal is what is the response to what's your feeling on forgiveness for betrayal specifically?
I mean, look, I'm gonna keep it real. It's gonna hurt. Betrayal hurts because we had the expectation on if we have a friend or even a spouse or even a family member that say that they love us and they support us, but then we have this idea, but then they're too quick to be like, nah, whatever. We have to do our very best to be like, you know what? I love you and I appreciate you, but I got to go my own way, right? And I have to be surrounded by the people that are as excited about my idea. Sorry, they're as excited about their idea as mine. So I'll give you an example. I used to not share my music taste with any other person because the response would always be the same. It was, bro, what is this shit? Bro, can we change this? I don't want this. Right? And they're not open-minded enough to actually give it a chance. It's, oh, this is shit or this is good. It's black and white. There's no gray area, right? And for a long time, I never used to share my music because I just felt like, they're not, if they're not going to support what I even listen to in music, how do I know these people are going to support what I do in general? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So it's like, you know what? How about we take a step back? Like, is that, because you do have that sense of, you have that mentality of, I don't want to be alone. I want to have friends. I want to have real talk. I'm going to keep it real with you, bro. We all have that feeling where we want to be accepted. We want to be in a tribe. We want to, be surrounded by people that love us and appreciate, like how we deserve to be loved and appreciated. Right.
Big facts.
And it's like, well, we probably just haven't found the right people. That's all. And you'll understand that it'll be from the most expected places. Like I didn't expect I was going to go to the inner city in Thornbury to go to Shopkickers and meet a lot of people there. I didn't expect to go to Breaking Bread to be a part of that, meet a lot of open-minded people. And when I first said to them, listen, I listen to E40. E40 is my favorite rapper. I love Zero from Houston in Texas, Mo City. And it's so crazy because once I started saying that, they're like, oh yeah, I know about DJ Screw. I know about the Slow and Loud and that type of stuff. I know about Pimp C. I know about UGK. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, and then that's when, bro, like I turned it was like I was like a kid being excited to meet a friend that loves the same video game as me. It's exactly like that.
It's great.
And I was just like, wow. And I was just like, wow. I was like, you know what? I found my tribe now. I found my people. I found the people that I can actually talk to with about music and understand and educate myself from hip hop heads as well. You know, because obviously they study music all the time, whether if they are DJs or, you know, producers or whatever.
Yeah.
I can now be in a place where I can educate myself even further about music and artists and listening to new artists, because again, I'm an open-minded person. When it comes to music, it's like if my ear hits right like that, then I'll listen to it. Even if you've never heard of it or you're not familiar with it, if it sounds good to me, I'll take it. I don't care. It's going to trigger a mood somewhere, and it's going to store it when that time is needed.
Big facts. Big facts. I mean, you have to find your tribe. Maybe when you feel that way, it's that you haven't found your tribe. That's actually good advice. Do you have any advice on revenge?
No.
I'm kidding. No. It's
you,
okay.
Bro, you were quick with it, though. I was about to answer you like, no, I'm kidding. I can't kick it.
Yeah, I don't. Bro, you're about to give me a full answer. I was like, no, hold on. Don't spill the sauce here. Shit. I think that is a fact. It's like sometimes, we all do want to feel accepted and belong and understood, and want to understand. So it's important to find your tribe. It is true. That's why we love doing what we do on Tuesdays at DSTT. I can't tell you how many times I've had people come to me and say, I found my tribe. For me, I'm like, I didn't think to myself, we're going to help people find their tribe. It's Tribe Fest. It was just, being in Melbourne, I've been to a lot of jams, and I know that having a space where there's good music and I can vibe out was always great. And it was always a great place when I met a lot of people who later influenced my life, allowed me to influence theirs, broke bread together, were there for each other, just from spinning in the same cycle. You know? So it's like, you know what? There's something about this that's fully sick. There's something about this that is water for those that need it. And that is the only thing for me when I think of anything that I do. It's like, if what I'm doing is going to be water for someone, I'm good. If it's not, then at least if it's water for me, it's something. You know?
Yeah.
Water's the soul, makes you feel all right. Because life is, even someone who's like got everything is, you know, you see people who've got everything on point, and even they have issues. So the time that we spend as people individually, for me that I spend as an individual thinking my life could be better like this, could be more together like this, I'm like, there's problems everywhere, brother. You know what I mean? Whereas you're going to feel that way. But having that connection to people who you feel safe with, feel good with, feel heard with is important. And learning to be that kind of person or being that kind of person is just as important. So we gonna be playing at Thornbury until they tell us to fuck off. There's jams in Melbourne that have been going for. It's a jam on Wednesdays at the Rook's Return. So the jazz band is called the Rookies. It has been going for 7 years. You know? So when I think that we've been going for 3 years, I'm like, that's a starter pack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like good, but I don't give myself a pat on the back. Yeah, I'm doing a great job. It's like, brother, that's a starter pack. 3 years is a fucking starter pack. People who love jazz have been doing it for 7 years, brother. 7 years. People who love blues, there's a blues jam. I met the dude who runs it. He came to Shotcase once. There's a blues jam. And he was telling me, we've been doing it for like 8 years. And he came in the first year. He's like, how long have you been doing it? I'm like, a couple months. He's like, cool. Chatted. And he's like, we've been doing ours for 8 years. 8 years, bro. Yeah. Weekly.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's a machine.
But hey, that's gonna be shock kickers, man. We started off. Y'all made it to 3. I mean, let's make it to 5. Now let's make it to 10. You know what I'm saying?
I think make it an institution would be the great thing. I genuinely would love to see some rotation. I would love to come come back in like 7 years and for DSTT or whatever offshoot to still be there. Even if it's a fucking jam with like house musicians just playing house, whatever it is, just for there to be something. Tuesday night, if you're into this, you can come through. You know what I mean? For the venue to keep that in mind and to keep doing that is like really important. You know, in my mind anyway, because it really is a place, like you said, to meet the community.
Yeah. Well, I think that is your tribe. I think where Shot Kickers is, I think that those people are your tribe, bro. Because if they come up to you and they appreciate you, because I've always felt like you are one of the most respected people out there, to be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro.
I'm respected.
What? Say it again.
I said respected. Damn.
I reckon you are, because again, you host, look, you know what I'm saying? You host the DSTT, and you know what I'm saying? Like everyone's like, bro, where's Tumi? Where's Tumi? Like, people get excited when you come up on that stage and you grab that mic, bro, and you start, bringing the energy to the room. You know what I'm saying, bro? I mean, tell me I'm lying, man. Come on. Someone tell me I'm lying here.
Super fire. Nah, I'm a super hot fire rapper, brother. I really do. On that particular night, I rap for the people on some real shit. On that particular night, I do indeed rap for the people. So I am glad. I'm glad when people are like that, because I'm like, fucking oath, I'm here. And like, I'm there like on a shit day or a good day. So cool.
Yeah.
But also, I used to go to jams like that. For me, I think of like how I used to go to jams like that, and several people that I know, other musicians and other rappers, other people who've been to jams like that, went on to do jams as well at various times. I would love to see the day when like even just 5 people who've been to DSTT are doing jams. Can you imagine if there was a hip hop jam every single night of the week? Can you imagine if every single night of the week there was a place you could go to? You know what? Let's do another one. Let's find another place. Let's find another place and do a slightly different iteration of hip hop.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. We can turn it into a Don't Sweat the Technique franchise. You know what I'm saying?
Like Macca's.
Yeah, we could do it like that. You got Thornbury, we got this spot here, we got this spot here, you know what I'm saying? Making sure the hip hop is everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Be cool. Another jam night?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Oh, I think that's it, man. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Or you good?
This is my burner phone, and this one is about to pop as well. The hot fire. I'm literally, dude, I'm holding it up with an ice pack on the back. So,
all right, yeah, we've got to...
But good.
I told you this is a fire. Yeah, I told you this is a fire conversation. That's why those phones are hot. But okay, we'll end it right now before the phone just shuts off again. But Tumi, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time. We've been at 1 hour and 17 minutes, by the way. So
good times.
Yeah, bro.
Who do you have on next week, by the way?
Next week I will have TGT Reaper. He is from Queensland. He was actually born and raised in my area, actually, before he started his music journey. So that's going to be an exciting one. So I don't want anyone to miss that, because that's going to be a good one. And I'll have a few others in December. I have to organize if everyone's still going to be on board for that. And I'll be doing some more updates for that too. So, and then that's it. My year is finished. And then, and I'll organize the 2025.
Organize the 2025, brother. It's good seeing you. I'll see you around soon. Let's chat. Yeah. You're a very philosophical man. I'm always interested in what you have to say, G.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. And I also want to appreciate everyone that's viewed this episode today. And this will be on YouTube as well. So I'll hit you up when that link is up. And so that way they can hear your story as well and see how awesome you are as well.
Thanks, G.
All right. You have a good the rest of your day, bro. And everyone, I hope everyone's enjoyed this episode. And make sure you follow this man. And also come to Shot Kickers every Tuesday. Don't Sweat the Technique. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on down.
Every Tuesday. Sleep at Shopkeepers on the Monday, so you know you're definitely going to be there.
You'll be
Tuesday.
You'll be the first one there. So there you go.
You're gonna get some sun. Make sure you get some sun. It is such a good day. It's such a good day.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I will. Have a good day, bro.
Real talk with Labzy, we speaking the truth. From the streets to the booth, giving voice to the groove. No holding back, every combo's the proof. It's the realest in the game, now we raising the roof. Real talk with Labzy, Labzy, Labzy. Real talk with Labzy, Labzy, Labzy. Real talk with Labzy, Labzy, Labzy. Real talk with Labzy.